Hello everyone and welcome to Guwahati Meetup. So as we know, Max is turning 10. So this meetup is with respect to the Max birthday celebration, and this is a 24th meetup for Guwahati Meetup group, and the topic for our today's meetup is Salesforce Composite Connector Part 1. We have another part on 27th. So before we start the meetup, some safe harbor statement. So both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. The presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Some housekeeping. So as we are recording, so the recording will be shared on Meetup page within 24 hours. You have got the mic access, so if you have any questions, you can either put it on chat or you can unmute and you can ask. We can make it an interactive session. Once the meetup is done, please share your feedback so that that will help us to improve uh, our meetup, and you can also suggest what are the topic you need. So I'm the organizer for this meetup. So my name is Abhishek Batwal. I'm a MuleSoft ambassador. Recently, I became a India Meetup Group regional leader. I'm a Meetup speaker. I lead Guwahati and Lucknow group. I have overall of 7+ years of experience. 9+ years of experience and 7 years in MuleSoft. I'm certified MuleSoft developer and architect, MuleSoft industry and GTM champion. Uh, I have like Salesforce double star ranger rank. I'm certified in Salesforce, Solis, Delbumi, and JCP as well. I write blogs and create technical videos. I own a patent for developing a portable washing machine. So for our speaker for today is Abhishek Dhakar. So Abhishek, would you like to introduce yourself, and you can start from here. Your voice is very,
Is Abhishek.
yeah,
Is it fine now?
yeah,
Am
it's
I
fine
audible?
now.
Okay, so thank you. Uh, Hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Dhakad. I am a lead engineer in Entity Data. I am a certified MuleSoft developer, and I have done MCD, L1, L2, and MCI certifications. Overall, I have 7+ years of experience, out of which 6+ years of experience in MuleSoft. And yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Let's start with today's topic. So the agenda of today's meetup is overview of Salesforce Composite Connector. Then we will see S object tree, and then we will see one component of Composite Connector, which is execute composite request operation. We will be having a demo, and then a question answer session. So let's start with Salesforce Composite Connector. So what does composite mean? It is like made up of several part or elements. So Salesforce Composite Connector is basically a AnyPoint connector provided by MuleSoft, which work on the S object tree and Salesforce batch one. We have various operations there, but Salesforce Composite Connector allows you to do a single API call to access and perform operations on several Salesforce objects. Now consider a scenario where we are first creating an account. Then for that account, we might create a parent account or child account again, and then we create a contact, then opportunities and lead. So for this to perform all those operations, every time we have to make a separate call. In as you can see on the PPT, first we need to create a payload, then hit Salesforce for the first time. Once we get the response from Salesforce with account ID, again we will patch that account ID in the payload to create a contact, and again we will hit. So Salesforce Composite Connector help you to reduce those multiple times API hit to the Salesforce. Rather than hitting multiple times in the single API call, you can have multiple operations. Um, Yeah, so this is about Salesforce Composite Connector. Then we have these many operations available in Salesforce Composite Connector, which is create a subject collection to upsert a subject collection. Primarily, we mainly used composite request, composite graph, batch, a subject tree, and a subject collection. In this meetup, we will focus on execute composite request. So moving forward, let's have some basic. What is a subject and a subject tree? So a subject is any kind of object in Salesforce database like account, contact, or these are the standard object, and we create some custom object like subscriptions and all. So those all objects are can be classified as a subject, which is Salesforce object. And then Salesforce a subject tree is basically a nested parent-child relationship where we will be having a single root element as a parent, and that root element can have a multiple child elements. Like account is a primary root element, contact can have account, like and then that account can have opportunities lead opportunity line items. So in this case, account is a primary root element. So this is basically S object tree. So um, composite connector mainly worked on S object and S object trees. Then we have a execute composite request. So in execute composite request, this is basically perform a single API call uh, for all the internal operations. Here we can see we can have a maximum 25 operations in the single API call. On the left side, you can see the structure of composite request, which accept basically an object. In this object, we have a multiple attributes like all or none, collect sub request, and then composite request. We will cover all or none later. First, let's focus on a composite request. Composite request is an array where we can have a maximum 25 requests, and in the series of operations we can have a composite request. On the right side, you can see inside a composite request, in the first object, uh, we have various attributes like method, URL, reference ID, and body. So method is which operation we have to perform, whether that is get, post, put, that we can specify in the method. URL consists of services slash services slash data, then API ID, S object slash S object name. In this case, it's account. So basically, this it already has a REST API. MuleSoft connector is wrapped on those REST APIs. So whenever we create any composite sub request, internally it calls composite REST APIs. I will cover that as well. So, and then here the important part is reference ID. So once this first composite sub request execute, the output of this sub request gets stored in this reference ID. So consider now we created the account by passing the same payload, and account ID, we can refer that account ID which got created by the first request with the help of this account ref account one. You can have any name over here, like account response, Salesforce account response, anything. It's just a name. Then in the second request, again, we are performing the post operation, but in this case, the object is account, sorry, contact. So the first request, we created the account. You can see account ID is equal to account reference dot ID. So we are creating the contact associated with the first request. That's how the it is related. And again on the next step, if we want, we can have a opportunity related to that account and all. So that's that's where reference account id is useful. Similarly, if you want to perform any operation to the contact, you can use contact reference id. Now new contact got created, you want to perform patch operation on that, you can use that. If you want to perform get operation, you can use this reference id. So I hope it is clear. Let's move next. Okay, so what's the advantage of having composite connector? So it reduces network overload by avoiding the round trip between MuleSoft and Salesforce. It enhances the application performance, and we can have a single response for the multiple sub requests which we send. The limitation for this is in one execute composite request, maximum we can send 25 sub requests or operations in a single. So that's the only limitation we have here. So let's start with the demo. First, I'll create a new application. And if you see, by default, we don't have a Salesforce composite request in our palette. So for that, we need to add it from the Exchange. Here we will search Salesforce composite. We can see Salesforce composite connector. Each has a different versions. Um, we can use any of it. Let's continue with 2.18. So now we got Salesforce composite connector here, and we can see all the operations. Let's use execute composite request. And first we need to have a step. First we need to establish the connection between Salesforce and MuleSoft. We have like Salesforce connector, we have a various operations here. Let's go with auth, username and password. For that we need to use consumer key, consumer secret, username, password and token. Let's go to the Salesforce, and here we'll go to setup to create new connected app. So connected app basically we use to have a connection between the Salesforce and external data consumer. In our case, it's a MuleSoft. So with the help of connected app, uh, we can securely share the our uh, data with the external world. So just a minute. We'll create a new connected app. We'll provide the email ID. Then going down, we need to enable auth setting. Here for the demo purpose, I'll select all. But based on the restriction, we can select required scopes, and then I'll click on save. So basically, it takes 2 to 10 minutes, sometimes more, to create to get the token and to activate it. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add callback URL. So this callback URL is not much for it's not useful for our this demo, but we provide some callback URL, some value there. And here we have client ID, client secret. Okay, just a minute. Okay, I got this. So we have this client ID, client secret. We can use it over here. That's how we can opt in a client ID, client secret. Since it takes little time to activate it, I have inbuilt client ID, client secret, which I'm going to use it. Then username, password, and security token. Let's do the test connection. Okay, test connection is successful. Let's save this code. Then we will add transform message at last, which will convert data to JSON. Okay, and we can add one more transform message at first. So here we can see metadata. So we can directly click here to add all the references, and we can provide the data. So I have a data predefined data available over here, so we can use this one. So let's check what we have given in the input. So we are trying to we have given post method for account, where reference ID is ref account, and then in the body I have given just first name. Then we have a second subsequent request where I have given the contact, post method on contact, create new contact. For this contact we have a reference ID is ref account. Then body I have given the last name, and account ID is a output of reference ID of first one. So account ref dot id. Let's save this one and run this application.
Where is a listener?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Also, like in the body, we are giving objects, so we can give only one input at a time.
uh, so like I said, it will here in the body it will just accept the object, but in the
No,
composite request is a
I'm
array.
I'm talking about inside composite request for account. We have given a body inside that. That is an
Yes,
object.
yes. So we can pass only one request at a time. If you want to create a multiple account, you can
Mhm.
have like this. Like this, you can this many times you can pass, but at a time only one account will create.
Okay, so if I'm creating contact with this, so how will I refer like which contact should connect to which account ID?
So for
Like if
that
you
we have this account reference ID. So for example, if
right right now I need to, like you are sending last name in as the contact sample contact. You want to connect this sample contact with the second account what you're sending over here. So how it should be, like it should be in that order then.
order,
Okay, reference account number. Okay, fine. That
yes,
you need to
like
change. Got it.
yes, like this it will be.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, application is deploying.
Yeah, but your listener you need to configure. I don't think you have configured that.
Okay, maybe I forgot that.
No
Let me
worries.
just
No
check.
worries.
Okay, cool. Then, Abhishek, coming to your question again, we have this composite batch where in execute composite request, we mainly use this execute composite request when we have to perform the series of operation. But
Right.
in execute batch, all those operations are independent of each. Maybe you can create n number of account and n number
Yeah.
of contacts similarly, which we are going to cover in the next meetup.
Okay, so that's what like batch. So it will be parallelly everything is executing like in bulk. You can do things then.
Yes, yes. It also has some limitation. Maybe we will cover that on the next meetup.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So okay, application got deployed and I'm hitting it. Perfect. So we got the response. So like we can see, okay, let me copy this one. It will be easy in that way. This is our input request and corresponding response is over here. And now we can see the tag composite request is for request composite response, where inside the array we have the response. The first object is corresponding to the first request. Here we can see the id which got created, success equal to true, then location and http status code and reference id. Then similarly, for the second subsequent request, we created the contact and all the contact related informations are here. Let's quickly go to Salesforce and verify this one. So this account got created now. Let me open it. If I go to details, so account name is sample account, time is 1 2. I think okay. I think this one is the, just a minute, let me quickly delete, or we can go to contact here.
You
Yes,
yeah.
this is the contact which got created and we can see the contact ID as well in the Postman PIAW. This is PIAW, and if I go to details, we can see the account is already linked with this contact. And if I go to account, this is the account ID which we can quickly validate over here. This is that account ID. So like that, in the single request, in the single API call, we can perform multiple operations here. Now, sorry, now let me delete this, and now we will perform all the operations directly from the Postman. Now consider a scenario where we are performing the series of operation where second request is dependent on first, like this one, and third request is dependent on second. But now, um, first request like account got created, and when we are trying to create the contact, say I'm passing some invalid data test, which this is invalid field. And if you see now, so the account got created, first operation that did successfully. For the second one, when we are trying to create contact for that account, we got 400 bad request, and the error is test invalid field. Now this is our manual task, to so that we need to go and we need to do the create the account associated with this contact manually, because now we don't have any other things to do. So how can we enable the transaction? So what is basically transaction is, once account is created, an associated contact also got created successfully. I repeat, successfully. Then only this entire transaction will consider it as a true, and this entire transaction will execute successfully. Otherwise, what will happen? Now consider account got created successfully, there is some error in creating the contact. So even account will roll back. In our case, account got created successfully. Now I can quickly show you account. I'll copy this account name. It got created, but there is no associated contact here. So for that, we have one attribute which is all or none. So that attribute we need to pass. It has a boolean value, so we will keep it as a true. By default, it's false. So now again, if we are trying to send the same request which has an invalid field in the contact,
Abhishek, you there? Let me check with him. Just give me 1 minute. You there, Abhishek?
yes,
Yeah, you got disconnected.
yeah, sorry, there is a power cut at my place.
Okay, no worries. Meanwhile, he's resharing. Anyone have any question? Are you getting this part? Because this may help you when we are doing multiple calls to Salesforce.
Any questions from anyone?
Not till now.
Okay.
Your screen is not visible.
Oh, I think okay. Let me reshare my screen.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's coming up. Yeah.
So we were talking about
Yeah,
the all or none. So like I explained, let's hit request. Now you can see in the response, we got processing halted, and in the second response, second subsequent, you can see the error. No such column test executed. How we can enable the transaction in composite request. And now if I delete and this is sample account one, this is sample contact, and we send the request.
your
Okay,
screen
I
is
think power
zoomed
is
a little
back.
bit.
Yeah, this is because I'm sharing from my laptop. Let me back to my secondary screen and let me stop sharing and share again. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, thank you to bear with me. So yeah, we can see here, now we send a proper request and we got the response. So this is how composite request works. And now one could argue, how can we add multiple things over here? So for that, we already have a Salesforce Postman collection available. So if I want to add one another request, say for this account, if I want to add parent account or child account, so that activity I can perform over here. So I would say this sample account 2, this is I would say parent. I am using this reference account 1, and it will be reference account 2. Then let's go to Salesforce to check which what field is that. This is a parent ID. I'll copy this here. Now since I need to use the reference, I will use @ this one, ref account 1 dot id, and then curly bracket closed. Here we need semicolon, and this is the parent account. This is will be going to our child account, and we are going to create an object for our child account. So I'm going to use like this, and now let's hit it. So we got the response for this one, and now let's verify quickly in Salesforce. So yeah, here we can see this sample account 1, which is as a parent account. If I check this parent account, so we have a name as sample account parent. Like we can perform the related operations. And now last part of this demo is now how can I find out the about the get method. So we can go to Salesforce REST APIs, S object tree, and here we have get S object, get rows. So we can see the format here, data service data slash version S object, then S object name. In our case, if you want to get the account name, and then account ID. So let's copy this, paste it here. Body, since this is a get method, body is not required. Let me delete. Oh, sorry. Copy, paste. Method will be get. Then here we can see S object name, and then record ID. S object name slash record ID. So in our case, record ID will be account ref. So again, @ contact ref dot id. Here, since we are performing multiple operation, I would refer contact 1, contact 2. Here we will use contact 1. Since this is get operation, we will be having only like this. And now the overall structure is, first we are creating an account. Then for that account, we are using it as a parent account for another account. For then for that child account, we are creating the contact in third operation, and then we are trying to get the contact in the with the help of get method. So let's execute this one. Cool, we got 200 response, and we got the error messages also. So like you can see, first executed successfully, second executed response successfully, third response, and fourth one, which is a get endpoint. And here we can see all the detail of the data, get contact. So this is pretty much about the execute composite batch. Let me know if you have any further questions.